This is American fighter Chuck Norris.
This is WWE Hall of Famer, the hardcore legend Mick Foley.
NFL legend Steve Mariucci, and I don't start my day without coffee and cards.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Ricky Williams, NFL legend and herbal connoisseur. I don't ever start my day without coffee and cards.
Hosted by my buddies, the Bearded Grinch and Mike Blazin' Balliet.
What up, everybody? Live podcast, Coffee and Cards, episode 1, but not really. I don't know. Chris, how do you feel? Are you ready for this?
Dude, I'm so pumped. We've been waiting for this for such a long time. Super excited to have everybody with us. Thanks for being here. Ready to rock and roll. First of many.
We do, yeah, first of many, I hope. We do need you guys to be involved, though. So you can check us out on YouTube on our Blazing Breakers channel. You can check us out on our Blazing Breakers page, and also we are on our Coffee and Cards page, correct, Chris?
We're everywhere live, ready to roll. Check us out. Caden, what's going on, buddy? Fishmaster out on the boat, getting it done. Welcome to the show. Everybody that's tuning in, welcome. Glad to have you here. Super pumped. Let's get it rolling.
So what do we, real quick, before we get going here, Chris, what do we have special about this episode before we dive in? What are we doing different now than we normally have done on our podcast? We have something to give away, right? A few things?
We got a few giveaways. So if you go ahead and hang tight with us throughout the broadcast here, we're going to have some trivia questions. With those, we're going to be giving away some break credits towards Blazing Breaks. We've got, starting us off, our Father's Day pack. So one lucky winner is going to start our show off right away with a Father's Day pack. We've got a fantasy football magazine going out to a lucky winner. I don't know
who this guy is, but I'm sorry, like some weird dude's on it. But
looks like a future GOAT to me, Lamar Jackson embracing the cover of that thing. And then we've got the Mega Box, the Don Russ, going out to a contest winner, which will get ripped and shipped live on air. So we've got a lot of cool things coming. We're also going to have a contest where you, one of the listeners, can join us live on a future podcast. So that's going to be super exciting.
All right, but let's dive into today's headlines, right?
Let's roll with today's headlines.
And now, hot off the French press, it's today's headlines.
So, Mike, we got headlines from around the world of sports, starting off with, our favorite that's near and dear to our heart, the NFL. The NFL opt-out period deadline has come and gone. A total of 66 players have opted out. Some notable names on that. Safety from the New England Patriots, Patrick Chung, along with linebacker Donta Hightower, Packers wide receiver Devin Funchess. We've got Marquise Goodwin, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dolphins wide receiver Allen Hurns, the Jets linebacker C.J. Mosley, who they just paid a ton of money to have come over there, the Vikings defensive tackle Michael Pierce, and Chiefs running back Damian Williams, all notable names that have opted out. Mike, what are your thoughts on those?
I think, honestly, most notably is the fact that Devin Funchess for the Green Bay Packers is on there. We already talked about the fact that Green Bay did not do anything to help out Rodgers. You know I'm not a Rodgers believer, but I'm not going to sit here and say they haven't done him wrong. I don't like Rodgers, but I think that he has been done dirty through and through by his team and now by players on his team holding out. But I can't say that part of the decision maybe didn't have a little bit to do with not wanting to be a part of him. I don't know. What do you think about the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Rodgers has kind of put his flag in the sand that he's going to be done. I think this is his final year there, so not a lot for him to look forward to. I think we see some teams that are possibly in that quote-unquote rebuilding phase. I know no one wants to say that, Billick up there in New England is ever in a rebuilding phase. He's the mad scientist that's always got something going, but it just seems like with the players that they're losing, they're not really putting a lot into it, investing a lot into the team that they might be saving up for next year and seeing what happens. But I don't think any of these players are going to be detrimental to where it's going to affect a team, that much. But I think, they are some notable names. And I think at 66 players, that's a lot less than I was anticipating, to be quite honest. So.
Well, and they did shorten the deadline a little bit, which is like a lot of players were upset about that. But they have stipulations built in that if they get, a positive test, they still have the option to opt out with all the benefits to it. I think the league did a very good job reacting to what they're dealing with. They have to prepare for what they're being dealt. They are playing their cards very well. And I think they'll react and respond accordingly as the league goes on. I think the difference is what we got to watch for is we're seeing games continually be postponed with the MLB. They're not going to be able to do that in the NFL. So I think they're going to have a different approach as to postponing games. And that might mean bringing in a lot of extra players. One of the most notable things I saw in the deal is that players who opt out, the teams are allowed to use that cap space, that prorated cap space, to sign people. And I think Jadeveon Clowney needs to be looked at, because a team like the Broncos, who lost someone and now has, I think it's like $24 million in available cap space going into the year. I mean, why not? Why not make a team better for a year? This guy only wants the most money he can get for a year, it seems. He's not looking for long-term necessarily. I'm sure he isn't to an extent, but take advantage of this situation. Players who have had players opt out with big contracts for the year, take advantage of that cap space and get a guy like Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Mike, you know what? I'm feeling, I got a little bit of an itch here. Like, instead of moving on to our next one, I feel like we need to give something away. So here's the thing. We're going to just jump right in with our trivia. For those of you that are watching live, we've got some trivia questions. First up is our Father's Day pack. I want to put a couple things out there. Number one, if you haven't gone on to the top of the Facebook page and allowed us to be able to see your name, we're not going to see who you are. So you have to allow those permissions. Otherwise, it just comes up as Facebook user. So make sure you let us know who you are by clicking on that option to let us see your name. Secondly, we are getting live here, Mike and myself, behind the scenes, comments from every single portfolio that we have, from our Facebook pages to our YouTube pages, all land in one space. So you're going to have to trust us that when we say the person chimed in first, that's who chimed in first, and that's going to be the letter of the law. So no, you don't have to be on Facebook, Mike. We see you loud and clear over there on YouTube. Appreciate you joining us. We've got you locked in. That's what I'm saying. We see every comment. So without further ado, for our Father's Day pack, we're going to jump in. This is a little bit of an easy one here to just kind of ease us into it. But who is the youngest player ever inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame? Send us over your answers. First one in wins. Youngest player ever inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. It may be a challenge of who can type fastest on their keyboard or phone, right?
And like Chris said, I just want to remind you that we have all the comments pouring into us, as I showed you on the screen share there. And we have to go off of what we see. So don't take it personal. We have to just do it the right way. So
we do. And we already have a winner. So straight out of the gates, congratulations, Mike Cornett over on YouTube. The answer, Gale Sayers.
All right. Should we open it up? Mike, are you good if we open this 2017 Father's Day pack? Maybe you'll get a real quarterback like Mahomes or something.
Grip it and rip it.
Look at this guest here. We had Terrell Owens. That was interesting. All right. We ready, Mike? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, let me bring on the camera here. All right. Can we all see this? We're learning this too. So be patient with us tonight as we go about this. We will get better. Again, this is our first episode. Hopefully we get to do many, many more of these with you guys. Let's see what he gets here, though. All right. Luke Kuechly. Ew! Ew!
Whoa, that's it.
Look at that. That's how you do that right there. Christian McCaffrey, rookie auto. Woo! Starting out this show right. There we go.
So if you haven't done it, go grab a friend, send them a text message, tell them that they need to be on the show right now and check this out, because that's just one of many prizes to come. Get up in here. CM7 starting us off. Sweet hit. Nice one, Mike.
That is cool, man. And good question too, Chris. And unfortunately, Mike is the winner, but we'll still celebrate with him.
Mag it up, Mike says.
He always wants the mag.
That's awesome. So let's continue on. Hot off the French press. Our next story comes from Major League Baseball. So this is actually a pretty cool story. So we had a player that originally opted out of playing this season and decided, he just missed it too much, quarter of the way through the season, wanted to come back. So Nick Markakis hit a walk-off home run in dramatic fashion last night to beat the Blue Jays. Really cool to watch him come back and first pitch out of the park, walk-off home run. So that was a pretty cool story. But like I said, we are almost a quarter of the way through the Major League season. It kind of feels weird to say that, seeing as how it's only a 60-game season. But right now, quarter of the way through, here are your leaders. In the AL East, you've got the New York Yankees. In the AL Central, Minnesota Twins. In the AL West, the Oakland Athletics. Moving over to the National League in the East, we've got the Miami Marlins. In the Central, we've got the Chicago Cubs. And in the West, we've got the Rockies. Mike, out of those teams, I know we talked about it before. You had the Yankees as your prediction to win it all. Has that changed?
Well, here's the thing. The reason I picked the Yankees is I said during the COVID season, I'm going with the most historically renowned teams. And as much as I'd like to say I have won the last couple of DraftKings on our baseball break page by knowing baseball, it's been pure luck. I still don't know enough about baseball to give an educated take on it. But I will say I still stick to the idea that for the longevity of the season, these teams that have a track record historically being good with a good track record, I think they're going to hold it through to the end. But it is a sprint now. It is different than any season we've ever seen. And, I just don't know how they're going to do. My brother and I were talking about this today. What are they going to do making up all these games? Is there a plan in place for it?
None that I've heard. So we've got some teams here that are 3 and 4 games behind already. And so I'm not sure what the plan is to make those games up. But in a 60-game season, 3 or 4 games can certainly make or break it from someone making or not. So I don't know what the plan is. The commissioner there has not proven himself to be a real reliable source as somebody that I would think is going to be able to handle it well. So, it's up in the air. We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. The short season is something that needs to be looked at long term. I have been more interested in baseball this year than I have, knowing that I'm going to get a very short glimpse of the season. Generally, it's like, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. And I feel like baseball's been that way moving, like, historically. I just don't want to watch that many baseball games. So I wait till closer. It's almost like basketball in the sense is start watching basketball in the fourth quarter and you'll see the whole game, how it matters. That's how I feel about baseball. You start watching it in the second half of the season after the All-Star break, and that's when the excitement begins. I feel like with 60 games, you're excited every game matters. And that's been true with the way the basketball has been going too. Every one of these games with the only playoff contending teams in it has been very exciting. Every game has like a playoff mentality to it.
Well, and that's what I've always said, and that's why I love football so much. When you're looking at a 16-game season, every game matters, right? It's not like you get halfway through the season before teams have to start playing. Everybody matters in that. So, let's just keep the fun rolling while we're at it, Mike. Let's jump right into another giveaway. So this one's going to be for a $5 break credit to the Blazing Breaks page. Again, if you haven't given us authority or permission on the top of the Facebook page, if you're using Facebook, go ahead and give permission to show your name. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to see who it is. So $5 break credit. Trivia question number 2. Here we go. Who holds the single season or single game record for the most sacks in a 1990 game versus the Seahawks? Again, who holds the record for the most sacks in a single game in 1990 versus the Seahawks with 7 sacks in one game? Let your fingers do the walking right here for this one.
And while they're looking that up, let me just tell you, Chris Taylor is a big help on this page always, but especially tonight. He's going to tag you guys that's in the break tonight, the 1920 break, and let you know when we're going live for that break. That's going to be – are we doing that right after Hot Off the French Press, Chris?
Yeah, right after Hot Off the French Press, we're going to get into our break. We're also going to do some Q&A. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask us, anything off the cuff, something that you're just interested about Mike or myself or the show or topics, make sure you send those over to us at the right time. We're going to be answering any of your questions live. So it looks like we've got another winner again quickly out of the gate. We're going to have to put a pause on Mike Cornett here after he wins too many of these things.
Oh, no.
But the answer again, Derek Thomas for the Kansas City Chiefs, 7 sacks in one game versus the Seahawks. So Mike Cornett, congratulations, $5 credit. I think we're going to do for the next couple is we're going to just take another winner. So Mike, just go ahead and push the pause button there and let someone else jump in on this so you don't run away with it. But
you would think someone that smart would be able to pick a better team. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's funny. But
he said, you look at him; he's a good sport. He said, "I'm going to let the others win." There you go. Look at that. At least he's a good sport. Already better than Rodgers.
Cornett, it's not your bad, man. Good for you to be able to get those answers. That's impressive. So, continuing on, Hot Off the French Press and NBA news, just amazing things that they're doing. Once again, proving that they know how to do it right. Playing in the bubble again to date, 0 positive COVID tests. In the bubble in the NBA, which is just amazing. I know that's not something that can be replicated in the NFL. I wish it was because we could be guaranteed a season, but congratulations there. But to your point, Mike, with such a short schedule and so many games being crammed in, one of the things that we're starting to see from the NBA is a lot of breakout stars are starting to emerge. And I just wanted to highlight 3 of them. And these are names that you may not have heard. You know, we talk about cards on this show, so maybe these are some players you want to start looking at some Prism PSA 10s to stash away for a rainy day. But The Denver Nuggets, Michael Porter Jr., currently averaging 26.3 points per game. You got the Trailblazers with Gary Trent Jr. averaging 20.3 points per game. And there in San Antonio with the Spurs, Derek White averaging 21.3 points per game. So pretty impressive from some, not necessarily household names, some guys on the move. So it's been exciting to watch. And to your point, Mike, I think the shortened season has really amped up the intensity for all of these players.
Well, I'm going to say this, we have done a lot of other episodes. So if this is your first time joining us, you have to go onto our either Spotify or Coffee and Cards website. We're on Apple, Google, Spotify, all that. Listen to some of the old episodes, but we've talked about investing in some of these guys early. And specifically with basketball, it is a market that you can get you always want to invest in shooters, right? We talk about investing in quarterbacks in football, hitters in baseball, and shooters in basketball. That was an episode that we talked about that. Now you're talking about points per game guys right here. Guys you could have invested in a couple weeks ago that probably have already shut up. Have you done any research on how these cards have grown over the last couple of days, like a week since the bubble started?
Yeah, they're on a slight trend. So it's kind of interesting. That we talk all the time about people like Gary Vee and, Vegas Dave that try to manipulate the market. Well, Gary Vee actually just put out a recent post with him holding a handful of cards, but the cards were blurred out. And I kind of appreciate and like that about him. He's not trying to manipulate the market, and he's trying to prove that he just collects for the fun of it. And so he blurred out the names so that he couldn't manipulate the market, which I thought was a kind of cool thing to do. But they've been slow increases. A lot of people have talked on here. I mean, we've had some people say to, keep it quiet and don't let the cat out of the bag on some of these players. So I think they've already been kind of stashing them away. Chris Taylor's talking about how Trent Jr. is shooting a great percentage too. So not only is he putting up points, he's doing it at a high clip. So yeah, I would just say do your research, but they're definitely worth looking into some of these players to stash away.
Yeah, it's funny. We try to give the advice that people want. So you just want to be in the show. There's only 26 people listening right now, which is good. I mean, that means you are one of the people that are hearing this, and not everyone's looking at that. Everyone's still looking at Zion. Everyone's still looking at Ja Morant. Everyone's still looking at these guys, but there are, and slowly these names will come out. But our goal here at Coffee and Cards is to get ahead of it a little bit as much as possible. And it's harder to do every day, it seems like, with the market moving so quickly. But that's our goal here is as we get through seasons, especially as we look for football, one of our goals is to go ahead and look at the schedule 3 or 4 weeks in advance and say, hey, here's a guy who has an easy schedule coming up. We're looking to buy his cards now. And that's what we want to do. We want to get, like, almost in a sense, be that Gary Vee kind of aspect, looking at it as an investment as well as a PC and do that. So it's harder to do right now with the bubble, though. I mean, we didn't see a lot of this time off, what these players were doing. We saw during the time off, Zion was supposed to be all jacked up. You saw the picture, right, Chris, how jacked up he was?
I don't know where they photoshopped that picture from, because if you watched him play the first game, he was anything but jacked up. He looked like the doughboy out there running up and down the court. And I can't speak. I'm a little soft myself. Yeah,
it's scary, though, because, people are spending a lot of money on this guy. And my brother was telling me today, an analyst looked at his trajectory since his junior year, or his year before he went to the NBA, and now his first year, and just had this decline in his body. Weight has gone up. His stamina has gone down. He's had an injury already. The more you look at these things, it's scary to think about the money people are spending on these cards. And Ja's going for like 70% of his cards. Wouldn't you like to get a more athletic player and a shooter like we always talk about, as opposed to Zion, who is still so questionable?
I'd like to get that. You know what else I'd like to do, Mike? I'd like to give away another $5 in Blazing Breaks credit. Trivia question number 3. Get your fingers on your phones or your computer. Get ready. This one's a toughie, so this might take you a little bit longer to look up. So to date, there are 2 states that have never had a school participate in the NCAA basketball tournament. Which 2 states have never had a school participate in the NCAA basketball tournament? We need the little Jeopardy countdown music for this one.
Need the drops. Yeah, we'll have to get that. There's something we're going to have to add in.
But this is an interesting question. One of them to me comes across a little bit obvious. The other, I would associate with basketball, but for some reason it's one of those that hasn't. So while we're doing that, we'll just go ahead and start discussing our 4th bit of news currently going on right now. The PGA Championship is underway at the TPC Harding Park in San Francisco. A lot of people looking for Tiger Woods to kind of make his move and maybe get another one of those majors under his belt. Currently, the leader at 8 under is Hao Tong Lee. Tiger Woods is currently at 1 under through 8 holes, so he's 7 back, but 7 back for Tiger is not a big deal. And we have ourselves a winner chicken dinner.
Got it.
Well, and you know what? Mike Cornett got it right again, but just in before him, first answer on the books, King Damon cards, Alaska and Maine.
King Damon. Is that Thompson? I think maybe Thompson, Allen. Who are you, King Damon? Sorry, Chris, if you don't see over here, I'm getting ready to do this break. How many more news and notes do we have before we go live for the break? I just want to make sure that we're ready to roll.
We're going to wrap up with the news and notes here, get right into it. Again, we're going to have a little bit of a session. This is going to be a live session, so we're going to have a break. In addition, we're going to have kind of a Q&A, so if anybody has questions for us, we had some come through that I'll throw out as we kind of get ready to go here already on the Facebook page with just some curiosity that people had about us, about the show. So if you've got any questions for us, send those over, let us know. But until then, we'll just kind of get rolling here with the break.
All right, you're going to have to give me a minute here to get ready because we want to make sure we get Chris is actually, like I said earlier, he's a huge help. He's going to go ahead and tag everyone, let them know we're live on the pages, so hopefully get more people in here. And you know what, Chris? Who'd you say got that credit?
King Damon. So
do we know who that is? Did he say his name yet?
Yeah.
It is Alan Thompson.
It is.
See, look, I know our people. Takes a while to learn those different YouTube names and stuff, man. Like Josh Long always has his daughter's name changing. Josh, get your own account, by the way. Can we get him to? Can someone sign Josh up for a YouTube account? I don't think it's free, right?
It should be free. I like Kelly's comment here. I forgot about Alaska, and haven't we given Maine to Canada?
All right. Hey, during the break, though, as we get going through the break, I want you to make sure we do a giveaway for this Sports Illustrated MVP again. Can he do it again? Can he?
You know what? He's got as good a chance as any. If you listen to some of the talk shows, which I don't ever listen to what they have to say because 90% of it is just junk, but there's some people talking about the Ravens possibly going 16-0. I don't know how that's possible with the Chiefs being on their schedule, although it is an early game at M&T Bank Stadium, but I'll never say never. I just want to get in and at least win a playoff game so he can get that monkey off the back and prove, some of the doubters wrong, but we'll see. But while you continue to get us set up there, why don't we go ahead, and I've got another pretty difficult trivia question. This is going to give you guys some time to think about it. And we'll do this here for our Fantasy Football Magazine giveaway. So in 1920, there was a college football team that actually ate their mascot as a part of their annual sports banquet due to funding issues. Which college football team ate their mascot in 1920 as a part of their banquet? You can probably rule out most college because I don't think cannibalism is a big thing. So anybody that's got a man as their mascot's probably not going to be it. So let us know what you come up with. See who can get in that. Yeah, it's a little off-putting to think about. I'm not sure if the players of the team knew it at the time or not, or if they just told him afterwards.
Man.
Oh, look at that. So here I think it's a tough question, and out of the gate, Kelly Boyer, first in, winning the $5 credit. Answer is University of Texas. Bevo became the main course.
And now we collect his cards.
Now you can get his cards in Prism Draft. So get those Bevo cards. If it's the original Bevo before he was slaughtered, maybe worth more than the current Bevo. Who knows? Good stuff, Kelly Boyer. Congratulations on the credit.
We ready to get into this break, dude?
Yeah, let's roll.
All right, so wait, Kelly got the Fantasy Football Magazine, right?
He did.
He's going to need it because we're in this card league together where we all send in cards, man, and it's actually pretty cool so far, and I'll show you here what we have. I'd like to do one of these on the page, but it is not easy to put together. So far, 3 of the entries for this include a Deshaun Watson auto and Chris Carter graded patch auto and a Patrick Mahomes rookie patch. So we do a fantasy league with about 12 of us, where we each put a card up, and then the winner gets to draft so many, and second gets to draft so many. So Kelly is in that league. He's going to need this to have an edge, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I would warn against being cocky in that league. I thought that I was going to win it all, so I put up one of my Lamars early on, and this was before he even made the name that he has. So I put up a card originally that was supposed to be valued around $75, and I think by the end of the season it was worth about $500.
Who won? Did he win it? Kelly said, "Who won the ship last year?" Did he really win? I don't even remember. I wonder if he did.
Oh, he probably did.
Let's recap these prizes so far. So we gave away a couple $5 credit. Alan Thompson and Mike Cornett each won $5 credit. Sorry for the sloppy notes here. Kelly did win the Sports Illustrated Lamar Fantasy Football Magazine, and then Mike Cornett with the 2017 Father's Day pack, and out of that he got a Christian McCaffrey rookie auto.
We haven't even gotten to the cards yet. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's just the start of the show. And again, we do this every Tuesday and Friday. We drop these on. Chris, what all platforms are we on now?
You can find us everywhere. So we are on Podbean. We are on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, iHeartRadio, YouTube. We are anywhere and everywhere. If you go to coffeeandcards.com, that's COFFEE, the letter N, cards.com, it will have links to all of those platforms where you can download episodes, take them with you. You know, what's really been cool about this, Mike, is I've talked to a bunch of people that said, you know, COVID-15 is a real thing. As you know, I'm trying to shed a few pounds myself, but they're getting back into the exercise groove. So they'll put the show on while they're out walking. And the next thing you know, they've walked for 45 minutes and don't even realize how far they've gone because they've enjoyed listening to the show.
That's awesome. And that's what we want. We want this to be a distraction from everything else, something where you can learn about cards, hear your sports recap news for like the next or for the previous few days, and then enjoy it along the way. Get to know us a little better. And like Chris said at the beginning, we will be doing a contest where you'll have a chance to come on here. And what are we going to do? Have them share their five favorite cards, something like that?
Yeah, so what we're looking to do is at the end of this broadcast, we're going to go put a post on the Coffee and Cards Facebook page. All you have to do is to enter in, and this is you have to be willing and want to actually come on the show, but just go and comment with your favorite part about tonight's show. It can be anything. Put a comment there. All of those names will get randomized in random.org, and the winner will be coming on the show. You can talk about your collection. You can talk about any topics that you want. We'll kind of build the show around you and make you the MVP of it. And to answer the question, yes, we do have a Coffee and Cards YouTube channel. In order to find it, again, I'm going to type it. It's Coffee, the letter N apostrophe Cards. So it's Coffee and Cards. And we do have the YouTube channel up as well.
And I think we are
Coffee, the letter N apostrophe Cards. So it's Coffee and Cards. And we do have the YouTube channel up as well.
And what I want to do here, Chris, is actually get that up for them to see. You do have to type it in as Coffee and Cards. Let me get this screen share up here for you. You do have to get it up as a Coffee and Cards. Can you see that, Chris?
Yep.
You have to type it just as you see here, Coffee, COFFEEN, CARDS. And then we have 51 subscribers now. Let's get that up to 100 as fast as we can and then keep it growing. As you can see, we had the Practice Live show, and we're live there on it as well, I think now. So check that out. Make sure you go over there and just hit subscribe real quick for that. If you could, help us out that way.
And if you guys are like into like self-deprecating type stuff, I was throwing this out the mic when we were at the beach. If somehow we can find our way to 1,000, I might shave my beard.
I would like
so that. Tell friends, tell family, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and the bearded Grinch might just become the Grinch.
That's a lot less intimidating than the fact that if Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, I have to get a Justin Bieber tattoo. So I'm actually a tad nervous about that because like it is 2020 and all the shit that could go wrong is going wrong. So that would be my life. All right. You ready to do this?
Let's roll with the break.
Now we are going to, I will say this. We are going to be doing a Q&A. Chris, you have some Q&A questions, like opportunities lined up for us?
Yeah, we've had some come in. And again, if you guys have any questions for us, you know, no matter how goofy it is, just go ahead and comment in the questions. But, you know, we've had some silly ones come across, like the old boxer briefs controversy. Which way do you like to go with that? I personally am a boxer brief kind of guy, so I like to marry the two to feel more comfortable. Brandon Bourne sent in a question asking about my beard maintenance program. So if any of you guys have facial hair out there, I'll tell you, they make beard wash. Not a lot of people realize this, but it's very specific wash directly for the hair that grows on your face. So I use a really good beard wash called Victory. I use a stainless steel comb, which is less friction, so it doesn't have issues with tangling. And then Duluth Trading Company, I don't know if they're nationwide or not, but Duluth Trading Company has, some really good stuff there. And it's called Spit and Shine, and it's old-fashioned beard oil. So I use that on a daily basis. So good stuff there.
All right, we're going to get ready to go here. And
Connected to Galaxy
sorry, sticking up my
Line.
speaker here. We're going to get ready to go for the break. I'm going to go over the teams quickly. Normally, you guys know that break with us. Everyone in this break knows that we always have the list posted. We're still learning how to use this. So I'm just going to go over the list real quickly. I will say who has the cards during the break, but Jamie has the Cardinals, Seb with the Falcons, Craig with the Ravens, Pat with the Bills, Mike Wager with the Panthers, Christian Brown with the Bears, Bengals for Mark Gray, Browns for Shane Steele, Dougie with the Cowboys, Lonnie with the Broncos, Maria Elizabeth with the Lions, Roberts with the Packers, Texans with Jamie Hunter, and Colts John Weston. We have Jaguars Austin Farnsworth, the Chiefs Logan White, Rams Ron Riley, Sean Steinhauer has the Raiders, Seb with the Chargers, Lonnie with the Dolphins, Roy with the Vikings, Pat Smith Joe or Logan, Saints Jen Cottenham, Giants Andrew, Jets Ricky Dewar, Eagles Jen, Steelers is Justin Wolanin, Niners is Shane Steele, Seahawks James, Bucks Bobby, Titans Brian, and Joe Thompson with the Redskins. So like I said, I'll say them during that time. But Chris, something else I want you guys to discuss as we do this 1920 Elite and Gold Standard break. Let's talk about what we think of each of these products, and then one of the things I want to discuss is what is the most improved product that Panini has done. I know that Spectra is one of the ones that comes to mind. That hasn't come out yet this year, and there's something I want to talk about that has seems to be changing with Spectra. But as we do this 1920 break, let's look how these products have changed and maybe discuss what your favorite change of products has been.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm like one of those. For me, I'm not a gold person. Like just the color gold jewelry. I'm just not a fan. I'm a platinum guy. So for me, like gold standard as a whole, I just don't get with. But I will say, they're consistent with their product. I do like the look of the white gold cards. I mean, I think that's a pretty sharp contrast that I've seen so far this year. It's pretty good.
Hey, Chris, if I remove you for a second so we can do what we said with the cameras here.
Yep, do it.
And what I'm going to remove the box camera as well, bring you on. Hopefully I'll remove myself here. Get back in here. There we go. How's that look?
Perfect.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Good luck, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. First live. What do you guys think so far? Are you liking this?
What I like about it is kind of a lighthearted, fun way to do it. Like, we could just kind of let loose on a Friday night and enjoy it.
Sorry, I hit the drop there, Chris.
It's perfect. I need to have it drop everywhere I go. I think that would be one of the cool things to do is like it was like a musical where everywhere you walk, you have like a theme song as you enter in a door.
There's a Family Guy episode like that he gets his own theme music as he walks around. I think that would just be fantastic. All right, here we go. Joe says he likes it. Let's do more. I like it. All right. Vaughn, I'm going to focus on the break. Chris, you're in charge. All right.
Absolutely. And let me throw this out there before you start rattling off some card names. On Facebook, if you're watching us on Facebook, please give us permission to see your name. Otherwise, this is how you're going to be seen. You're going to come up as Facebook user. I'm glad you're loving it, but I'd like to know who's loving it. So make sure you go in there and give us the opportunity to see who you are. So give us the control to see your name. It'll also come into play with the trivia question so we know who's winning.
Well, here we go. One of the guys I said on our last podcast who I would spend, $10,000 on if we had $10,000. I said Brady was one of those since we both picked Braun. And there we go. 2 in the first pack going out to Logan out of 75 primary colors and also a Playmakers. This is out of the 2019 set. As we talk about changes, you'll see one of the biggest changes was the Playmakers insert set. I noticed now these are beveled, but not quite as much as they did in 2020, as we'll see. But yeah, Brady's my guy to invest that kind of money in.
Yeah, I like the Playmaker cards too. I like how it has the theater bit on the new one, the 2020 across the bottom. It actually has like the player name and their position, kind of like what their role would be in the show. So that was a cool change they made this year to the cards.
And Tua Tagovailoa, just kidding. It's Josh Rosen out of 97. What do you think about it? Is he done? Like, he's been traded, once already in 2 years. So what's going on with him?
I'm not sure where his future lands. I think he's just going to be one of those perennial backups, if anything at all. I don't see him ever being a starter in the NFL. Unfortunately for him, he's just going to be one of those guys that gets bounced around from team to team to team.
If Ryan Tannehill can do it, anybody can.
So we got a question on how do we give permission to see the names. If anybody can help out and answer that question, I don't do it, so I don't know how to give permission to see the names. So if anybody can help out how to give permission to show your name for the Facebook users, that would be fantastic.
All right, we have I will say I watched this on a couple breaks with the new gold standard, and one of the most disappointing things is, if you didn't notice, first off the line, they've been doing more first off the line stuff. First off the line, now I only opened one case of the gold, but first off the line was littered with points. I feel like that is something that needs to be gone from first off the line. There is no reason, specifically for first off the line, that there are points in there.
Josh Long says we need a credit card number and expiration date.
Just enter it in the comments. CBC on there too. First card up, Harrison Smith, Pro Bowl out of 199. Player worn material for the Minnesota Vikings. That one going out to Roy. There you go, Roy. For the Vikings.
We did have a question come in, and I think it's pretty obvious. You can tell the difference in our ages. Mike's the question came in: flat brim versus curved brim. I'm a total dad. I've reached 40 plus, so I am a curved brim all day, every day. Where you rock the flat brim like all of those teenage kids do.
Honestly, I like the curved brim too. It just matters what the hat comes in. I do both. Out of 99, Christian Wilkins for the Dolphins.
So Kelly's saying that he's heard first off the line, gold standard is trash. I'm going to be honest with you, Kelly, and Mike and I have talked about this several times, and this goes to product conversation, but a lot of the first off the line product, in my opinion, I've had worse luck in first off the line getting quality hits than I have in just hobby box products. To me, I think first off the line is a great way for Panini to try to sell at an exorbitant price some of their boxes, but I'm not a big fan necessarily of first off the line product.
Yeah, I talked about this with Jason over at Three Kings too. We said that I feel like it used to be something special, and it came out like a week or two, like a week and a half in advance. So you got like an edge on it. You got to see it. The exclusives are cool, but they've taken advantage of it. They've done it for every product now. They charge twice the amount of the original. And you know what? It's been littered with team heavy names and points. It seems like I'm not eager to get it anymore. I'm not saying don't go after it. I'm just saying that I would rather wait for the hobby product at a different price.
Caden coming in here with some advice. He thinks investing in second-year silvers of top young guys is better bang for your buck in the future. You know what? I would tend to agree with that. I think if anything, this year in cards is proving that Prism is reigning king. We're seeing exorbitant prices for Prism cards, both basketball and football, than we've seen in years past. I mean, you've got Patrick Mahomes silver PSA 10s selling for $8,000 right now. So I would say jump on as many silver Prisms, get them graded, and stash them away. That would not be a bad strategy, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. I see a lot of people looking for second-year Lucas. I think that holds true more for basketball than it does for football. But if football's heading in the direction they want it to and putting all these these prices up in football products, I would say that the trend would say that would hold true for football down the road as well.
Yeah, I would agree. Kelly Boyer's still holding out for Minshew. You know what? I like Minshew too. If nothing else, just his personality. I just think we need to have more Minshew in the league for sure. It's gotten too uptight. It needs to be more of a fun league. It should be the National Fun League instead of the National Politics League.
Here we go. Out of 30, short print for the Las Vegas Raiders. Sean getting the Josh Jacobs. Now, I want to ask you guys, I held a card up here, and it's David Montgomery for the Bears and Josh Jacobs. Which one of the, obviously Jacobs, great year. I think he's going to be better. There's no, I don't think there's much of a question there. But does David Montgomery make a name for himself in the league yet? Is he someone that, his cards aren't going for a ton right now. Is he someone you can buy low right now and invest in outside of your PC?
He's a splash player, in my opinion. I think he could have some, good run here or there. But I think Jacobs, if you're comparing the two, to me, Jacobs is the longer term play. I think the offense is set up better there for him in Las Vegas. Plus, I think just the hype around a new stadium and a new city is going to amplify them to really perform.
Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones. Chris, what do you think about a $5 credit trivia right now?
$5 credit trivia. All right. For those of you who are joining us, numbers kind of jumping up and down. If you haven't been on with us, make sure that you go to the top of the Facebook page. Give us permission to see your names. We'll throw out a trivia question for you. So this one's in the world of basketball. So for you basketball folks out there, UNC, although the team that he played for was not Michael Jordan's first choice to play basketball, where did Michael Jordan originally want to play his college basketball?
That's interesting.
Well, what's interesting is he wasn't recruited there. It's just the team that he chose that he wanted to play for.
There we go. Rookie Danny Jones. Danny
So
Dimes
have
for the New York Giants. Andrew out of
Sorry, Mike, I'm stumbling over there. Have you seen the pictures of Daniel Jones? I just want to say, because we were talking about Zion earlier and we showed the beefed up pictures of him. Have you seen how much weight Daniel Jones has put on in a positive way? Like the pictures of him gotten really big.
I have not. Oh, hold on now. We got our we have our on card coming up. Let's see who we got. For the Denver Broncos, on card, Noah Fant going out to Lonnie Biddle. There you go, Lonnie.
There's a fantasy dark horse. If you hadn't reached all of our episodes or listened to them yet, that's who I've got as one of my fantasy dark horses at the tight end position. I think Noah Fant's got a chance to shine there with Drew Lock. So,
he was your sleeper, right?
He was my sleeper. Get him late. I think he's a good value pick. So we've got a winner, John Stevener, UCLA. UCLA was actually the first choice for Michael Jordan for college.
AJ Boye out of 49.
Good pick up there, John. $5 credit. Headed your way.
You got that one there?
Got it.
Out of 699, Hawkinson. Oh, I'm sorry. Denver goes to Trey Forsman. I got to fix that on the list. Denver Broncos is not Lonnie. It's Trey Forsman. There was a mishap on the claim, so that does go to Trey. Again, Chris coming through, being the man, fixing that for us. Look at that.
Yeah, Ron, we can see you. You're in, buddy.
Mahomes, Gordon, and Matt Ryan out of 98. I'll tell you this. He has up and down years. This is a year I say, wait. Grab Matt Ryan late. You don't have to grab a quarterback early in fantasy. He has two huge targets, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, a new running back in Gurley. I think that is a sleeper QB there. He's ready to just do what he can do to win. And even if they don't go the distance, I think he's going to put up some good fantasy numbers.
Well, I think if you look across the NFC South as a whole, I think their four quarterbacks in that division as a whole are probably the top four out of any one division. If you had to look at the foursome of quarterbacks between Brady, Ryan, Bridgewater, and Breeze, I'm not sure how you get much better than those four as a whole.
That's true. Brady entering that lifts that level up quite a bit. But Bridgewater coming over from it's funny. He stayed in the same division too.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, your answers are coming in, but John Stevener got in ahead of you, buddy. He just got in right ahead of you. So we are seeing your answers, so keep trying.
Some people might not know the fact that we're on multiple platforms and that we're only seeing, we're seeing them in order from all platforms. All right, that was 2019 Elite. Let's hop over to 2020 Elite. Also, I don't have it in front of me. Chris, do you know what I should know this, but I don't anymore. I can't keep track. I want to say the next release is Elements, but I'm not quite sure. Do you know what
it is? It is going to be Elements.
Now, I will say that one thing as we talking about the improvements on products in 2018, the one thing I did not like about it were those like framed metal cards they had, super heavy. They were real thick. They got rid of those last year, and I think overall that product improved greatly, sticking to just quality autos and then that metal on-card auto at the end. Do you like Elements? Be honest, man.
It's a cool card to have because it fits the name Elements and you got the metal card in there. But, if you're a collector, the scratchability of the card, from a value perspective, they're just so easily scratched.
Didn't they put protective like film on the front and back of that last year?
They do, but I just, for me as a whole, I don't know. I mean, one of my favorite cards from the set last year was the red cards with the silver or white writing on it. Those are really sharp looking cards.
So here is the playmakers from last year. Comparing the two, I actually do like how the player stands out more on this one, but this has a really cool texture to it, and it just, as you hold it, it feels like a cooler card. But I mean, look-wise, I have to go with the 19. Maybe it's because it's Brady on there. I don't know.
Well, so here's where they need to learn, right? So take the 19 card minus Brady with the way that the drapes are with the bottom of the 20 card and put those together, and I think that'd be a sharp looking card.
Yeah. Are you saying like with the color scheme you're saying?
Yeah, so take the Brady card with the way that the curtains are with the red, leave that there, and then put the scroll down at the bottom from the 20 card.
I see what you're saying. I do like that it's like a feature film, kind of like a movie theater at the bottom of that one, though. Here we go. Green Bay Packers, A.J. Dillon out of 99, turn of the century. We're pulling a ton of him.
So talking about elements, Brandon said the cards are cool, but they don't hold a lot of value. Jamie agrees with that. And that's kind of where I am with them. I just think, cool looking cards, but it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for some cool cards for your PC, scoop them up. If you're looking for value cards to flip, then, elements might be one that you don't invest heavy in.
Big vet names in the elements. So we've pulled some huge names out of that. That's true with Gold Standard too. It seems like this is the time of year where we start to see those big vet names start to pop out. You don't see it in the early products. With like Contenders Draft and, the draft products in general, you don't see them, but now the vet names are starting to come out today in our second half of Gold Standard. I mean, there was 5 big vet names, including the, Mean Joe Green out of 10 for the Steelers. You got a Hunter Henry from the Chargers as well, but not even a retired vet, just like active vet players.
Well, I like they're starting to throw some vets in that are harder to get, some players that haven't signed a lot. So it's a good opportunity, from a PC perspective, to scoop up some players that you wouldn't normally be able to get.
Raheem Mostert, full throttle, 21.87, one of the highest speeds on those cards. Yeah, to the point that they just said about holding value, I mean, we're going to have to see how that affects the market because the cards aren't going down. They seem to keep going up every set. But I'm wondering, is that going to change the market value of cards? Because as of right now, it hasn't seemed to change it a whole lot, but yet the cards keep going up.
I'm not sure what's going to change the market value of cards because people are going to continue to buy them. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like with anything is, as long as there's going to be a demand in the market, then the prices are going to continue to increase.
Murray out of 99 going out to Jamie Hunter. Better year, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones?
I know where you're at on that one. So I'll say this, like Daniel Jones, I'm in North Carolina, played at Duke. So my heart would be Daniel Jones. My head says Kyler Murray.
I think getting Hopkins makes it hard to not pick Murray, but I also think having Barkley, I know they have Kenyon Drake out there and I think he's ready to be that guy out there, but I think Barkley is that transcendent running back that's going to make Daniel Jones' job much easier. Out of 96 there, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Jamie, if you missed it earlier in the break, go back and watch it. There was a really nice Mean Joe Green pooled.
Yeah, what were some of the other vets in that? There was Joe Green, a Hunter Henry. There's 5 vets total in that.
You know who always has some obscure vets is the Giants and the Cowboys.
Well, and that's why they continue to be I should say the Steelers and the Cowboys always seem to hold around the same similar value because their vet checklist is always about the same. They always have really good vet checklists. $7.99 Chase Young.
All right, so Caden's got a question. What are you investing in? Mahomes or Luka, Brady or LeBron, Giannis or Trout? So if those are our options, if I'm having to pick one or the other, Mahomes or Luka, I mean, just because the basketball market is what it is, I mean, I would have to take Luka over Mahomes right now. Longevity of career can be there in a basketball front as opposed to football, and the basketball market is just huge. Brady or LeBron, for me, it's going to be Brady, although, I mean, it's hard to go against the basketball market and Giannis or Trout. I mean, these are tough questions, but I'd have to go with Trout there. Trout's a once-in-a-generation type player in baseball, in my opinion.
So here we go. And on card, Van Jefferson. I got to say, thank you, Van Jefferson, for taking your time to write your auto out every single time. Look at this. Nicest auto of 2020, no question asked.
So it is a nice auto. Let's see what that looks like in a few months when additional product comes out.
It's already gotten shorter, like more condensed on the. It was started out real big, but he gets it on the sticker. That's the crazy thing. You know, guys like pointed out today, Zion is having trouble staying on the sticker. Kyler, but this guy can get his auto on the sticker. There's no excuse for it not to get it on the sticker.
Yeah. So Chris Anderson saying he might be the only one, but he can't wait for Mosaic football. The parallels are cool. Listen, I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form. The parallels are beautiful. They're awesome cards. They're great cards to get graded. The price point is just so high for the average collector to be able to go to the hobby shop and get a box and rip it. It's just insane to me, you know, how they can justify charging what they're going to charge for that product.
What was it? Pre-sale, and it sold out on Blowout. I don't know if they pulled it or it sold out, but it was over $700 a box. That's for football. That just, to me, is not a valid price for a 2 autograph football product. I don't get it.
It's going to be tough. So Jamie says that Mosaic is overrated because of Zion.
Panini is definitely riding that. There's an Akeem Davis Gaither. I haven't seen that name for the Bengals. Yeah, they're definitely riding the basketball wave right now for football.
Yeah. So Caden's asking, what do you think needs to happen to cool the market down? You know what? I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It's Caden. I know you're a little bit younger, so we won't go into an economics class here, but really the only way that you're going to drop prices is to stop buying. And I just don't see people stop buying because they're going to continue to invest in the hobby. So I wouldn't anticipate prices dropping anytime soon. I don't see a bust coming. I don't see the bubble necessarily bursting unless all of a sudden all the sports get canceled. I mean, if the NFL season gets canceled, I think you're going to start to see a lot of the prices start to drop on some of these players. But, you know, overall, I think people are going to continue to invest.
So a couple things on that. I think that when sports start, people start doing DraftKings, gambling, things like that. So the money is diverted. You would think that when the sports start up, that more money would go in the cards, but I think it's the opposite. Right now, we don't have anything but cards to help us stay connected to sports. I think when the gambling starts, when DraftKings starts, when fantasy starts, we have more things to distract us. So I think the card market could start to go down a little bit. I also think when people start to spend too much money and the resale doesn't continue to match it, we can't we all have a certain amount of money that we're able to spend. And I think when that money gets depleted, if we're not able to resell to a certain level, we're not going to be able to continue to replenish our funds or our budget. So I'm very curious to see how that goes. But $700 for a box of Mosaic will help us to realize real quick if we're able to keep doing that, because you have to be able to say on average it's $200 for a random team on a case, or $250 or something like that. I mean, you have to be able to make that money back, or at least replenish your money in some way to get back into another one. I just don't see it happening when there's only 24 autos in a case.
Yeah. And so Logan over on YouTube just posted the question, you don't think after COVID it'll go down? And my answer to that is no, because after COVID, more people are going to be back to work, which means they're going to get more income in their pockets. You know, there's a lot of people in a depressed market right now that just, you know, are out of work, unemployed. Yes, they're staying home and have more time to spend on cards, but they don't have the money to spend. So once they get back and working, I think, you know, they're going to have money in their pockets, and then they're going to be able to move even more. I mean, wait until National Treasures and Flawless comes out. Prices are just going to be beyond anything we've experienced.
Well, you went to National Treasures and Flawless, but I think even more so than that, Prism, Select, and now even I've been saying it for 2 years now, Phoenix. Watch those kind of products go up, because parallels are taking over the market. It's not just autographs. And as much as I say that for Mosaic, it's only 2 autographs. Mosaic provides those parallels as well. So we're seeing that the products that are taking over are parallel products more than just autos and swatch products, similar to what we have here with gold, where it only provides, you know, it gives you 5 hits, but very few parallels.
Yeah, Chris Anderson also brought up a point here talking about the sneakerheads jumping ship to flip cards. And, you know, that's part of the Gary Vee effect, right? So he started talking that specifically about moving away from sneakers and into the card investing market. And so you're seeing a lot of young people with a lot of disposable income moving into the card market. And so, you know, that's another reason for it. So that's a good point, Chris.
All right, to get away from the investment and card side of things, we had someone in our group, I think it was Trey, a Browns fan, said that Nick Chubb is going to be the #1 running back in fantasy this year. He said with the scheme they have set up for him, he is going to be that guy. What do you guys think about that?
I think the only thing that helps Nick Chubb out is that they're one of the few teams that kind of runs single back type formations. Every other team's got multiple back situations. They kind of rely on Chubb a lot more than any of their other backs.
Well, it'll be interesting because what I had said about it was that you can get him probably a lot later in the first round. So if you have a choice to pick later and get a better pick on the wraparound, that is a great pick there. If you don't, or in an auction league specifically, you're going to get him a lot cheaper than you're going to Zeke, Barkley, McCaffrey, those guys. So I like it. I mean, that's the guy you're targeting. Don't overpay for him. Trade your first round pick and, try to swap rounds or something. But man, I was interested in his take. He is a Browns fan though. So
yeah, well, I agree with what some of our friends are commenting on the CMC factor. Like to me, every league that I've ever played in fantasy is PPR league. So, my money's always going with those backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield. So, McCaffrey's always going to be top pick, in my opinion, from a running back perspective, especially bringing Bridgewater in with a new team trying to learn a new system.
All right, real quick, we're going to get into the 2019 gold standard to start. But on that note with the PYT, ready for my bold prediction? Melvin Gordon on the Denver Broncos outscores Christian McCaffrey in fantasy this year.
Yeah, that's a bold prediction.
Again, I'm not saying it's going to have. That's my way out there. What a great value you would have if you got that. Picked up Melvin Gordon instead of CMC. So if you miss on CMC, look for Drew Lock, who's going to be under pass rushing constantly, to dump it off to Melvin Gordon a ton and get a ton of PPR points.
I don't know if I can ride on that train with you there. My heart still and my head both say CMC on that one.
Well, again, you're going to get a lot better value. I'm saying it's a bold prediction.
I like it though. You got to step out on some of those things. We had another question come in. Do you think it's right for big brands like Target or Walmart to sell Mosaic and Prism on their website 5 times for which you could buy them in store? What I would say to that is, number one, you got to look at that. A lot of times companies like Target and Walmart will allow other vendors to sell product through their website. So it may not be specifically Target and Walmart selling at that exorbitant price. So watch out for that. But no, I mean, of course it's not, but it's, again, the market. If people are going to continue to buy it, then they're going to charge whatever they can charge for it.
Well, Panini's doing the same thing on their website. So let's not get it twisted. And they're the ones in charge of it all. But to Chris's point there, yeah, that's not Target doing that as third-party sellers. But they shouldn't allow it. They shouldn't allow it on their website to begin with. They do it for everything, from toys to cards to everything.
Jamie says CMC is going 2. Going 2 to who? Who's number 1?
Brian Singleton with the Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry. We also had the triple relic here. Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Nick Bosa out of 199. We'll have to random that off. Arizona Cardinals is Jamie. New York Giants is Andrew. And the San Francisco 49ers is Shane. So we'll random that off at the end.
Barkley. Everybody thinks Barkley's going number 1. So they are jumping on that pick from you, Mike.
I do like that. Here's my fear with McCaffrey is that they're going to once again rely on him so much, I think. And as strong as he is, he's fantastic. He may be the best running back in the league. I'm not going to argue that. But I think that you can only rely on him so much, and teams are going to start to they're going to make the quarterback throw the ball. And who do they have there for wide receiver? Who's there?
Good point. But the only thing I think is Bridgewater is a much more Cam in his prime. Ooh, look at that.
This is what they changed this year, talking about improvements on product. They stuck with the gold ink, but you can actually see it this year. Beautiful card, but look how hard it is to see that gold ink on the gold background. Josh
number 2.
49 out of 49 going to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's Sean. Beautiful card there.
Kelly Boyer already has the Panthers offense figured out.
What do you say? I'm trying to stay focused here. What do you say?
It's just said they're easy to defend. He's already got them figured out. So, I mean, they are going to rely on DJ Moore a lot in that. But I think, so to me, Cam Newton in his prime was a really good mobile quarterback. Not so much in the last few years because he's been injured. I think Teddy Bridgewater, you're getting a much more mobile quarterback, which is going to take some pressure off of CMC.
Dallas Cowboys, one of the greats in Dallas, Jason Witten out of 49. Patch auto, player worn material. There you go for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow, it's very nice.
There you go, Dougie.
You see him doing anything in Las Vegas?
Nah, I think. I mean, I don't know why he's. I don't think he liked being off the field. He's a guy reaching for straws, trying to stay active, and
Well, I think he was horrible in the booth too. So that
it didn't work out for him. Same thing with Gronk. Like, it's the same situation. Gronk could not. He was awful at every endeavor he tried. He realized football and athletics are his thing. He's gonna milk that cow till it dries up.
So here's a question for you specifically, Mike. How do you think it's going to feel to lose to a 14-year-old in fantasy football?
Oh, man. It'd be the first time.
Oh, what's with this generation and smack talking, huh? Respect your elders, son.
They don't, and that's okay because they have to learn the hard way. I took Max's cards in bets. I'll take Caden's cards, and I'll sleep fine at night taking 14-year-old cards till I die.
More gold standard.
All right, last box. We got 2020 here.
While Mike's getting ready to rip that, I'm going to throw out another trivia question, and then our final trivia question is going to be for that Donruss blaster box that'll get opened up live. So, which holes in golf at the Augusta National Golf Course make up Amen Corner?
Say that again.
Which 3 holes of Augusta National Golf Course make up Amen Corner?
I heard that question very wrong the first time.
3 holes. We're looking for 3 holes.
Out of 99, Justin Herbert for the Chargers going out to Seb. It's his second one out of 75 today.
All right, Dennis Roberts coming in hot. It's 11, 12, and 13. Good stuff. I might be one of the only golf fans on here. I talk about golf all the time. But
I like that you have that knowledge because I don't enough, and you always have that in our hot off the French press, so that's cool.
Well, seeing as I'm going to be in a recliner for 3 months, I need something to watch on TV.
You got to get yourself some of the old Tiger PS4 games. Galladay and Johnson for the Lions. Here we go. Next one up is going to be for the Broncos. Rookies, newly minted, KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy out of 249 going out to Denver. Again, that goes to Trey, I believe. Switch at the end there.
Dennis, congrats again on the trivia question. It's $5 break credit for you to Blazing Breaks.
Here we go. Autograph again. A vet for the Dallas Cowboys going out to Doug. We got a Billy Joe Dupree. Look at that autograph there. That would take forever to sign stickers. There you go, Dallas Cowboys.
That's an impressive autograph.
You love that drop, Chris.
I do like that drop. I like that autograph, though, for an older player. I mean, normally they get sloppy with it. That's nice.
And this is what gold provides us with, great vet autos. Here we go, one of your guys. Look at that fierce picture on the back. Patrick Queen out of 199 going out to the Baltimore Ravens, going out to Craig Young. There you go, Craig.
Craig, if you're not a fan and just grabbed him for fun, send me a PM. I want that one.
That's a badass picture.
He's not in much product.
And second one of the break. I said earlier we pull him a lot. Going out to the Green Bay Packers. A.J. Dillon, 0-1 out of 4-9, ending it with a Packers. Started out with a Packers fan winning a pack, ending it with a Packers card. There you go.
Gold standard might grow on me a little bit. I mean, as you're breaking more of it, I can see the like and the look of it. I think the contrast in colors, like when you've got teams with blue, that's a really sharp looking card there. Is that a Herbert on top? That's a nice looking card with the blue and the gold contrast.
Well, and we didn't pull any of the 10K or the Super Bowl like we do with the Mean Joe Green, but I will say that it is a really nice product. It does hurt that it is as much as it is. I mean, and I bought a lot of extra of it because I saw the checklist. It's a solid checklist, so it'll be a lot of fun to rip, but it's just unfortunate we have to pay for those, such a large amount for those cards, knowing that you might go through a couple boxes without seeing some of those good autos, but that's the market that we're in. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to do a recap real quick here, Chris, if that's all right.
Yeah, before you roll through that, let me do this. I'm going to throw out the last trivia question. So while Mike's doing the recap, you guys can get your answers in. And then whoever comes in first, Mike's going to rip that Donruss blaster box for you. If you want it ripped live. If not, he can send it to you.
Yep.
All right, so here's the trivia question. This is going to be a layup, so it's going to be about who can get their fingers moving fast enough. In 1990, this father-son duo made history by being the first to hit back-to-back home runs in a Major League Baseball game. In 1990, this father-son duo made history being the first to hit back-to-back home runs in a Major League Baseball game. Go.
I think I know it. Herbert out of 99, Bradshaw out of 75, Wesco to 99, Ursua to 49, Chase Young to 799, Derwin James at 24, Burrow rookie elitist, Burrow elite company, Davis Gaither out of 99, Richard Sherman out of 75. We have the Prescott out of 96, Murray to 99, Boye to 49, Matt Ryan to 98, Daniel Jones die cut to 83. We have the Christian Wilkins out of 99, Rosen to 97, and Tom Brady out of 75. Do we have a winner?
We do have a winner. It's Alex Carey over on YouTube. It's the Griffies, Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr.
That was too easy.
You know, it's baseball. I had to go with a baseball question.
All right, so here we go. We're going to get into our hits here. We will still be giving away our two $5 hit list credits, and we'll do that at the end after we do our we'll say that for the very end of the podcast, if that's all right, so we can close up here and do that at the end. We got Harrison Smith for the Minnesota Vikings going out to Roy. We have the Broncos duel, KJ Hamler and Jerry Jeudy for the Denver Broncos going out to Lonnie. The Kenny Galladay, Kerryon Johnson for the Detroit Lions going out to Marie. Gold Rush Rob Gronkowski going out to the New England Patriots. Logan getting that one. Marcus Mariota and Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans going out to Brian. We have the Drew Lock for the Denver Broncos, and I said Lonnie before. It goes out to Trey. Sorry, I got to fix that. A.J. Dillon going out to the Green Bay Packers. Dennis Roberts. Patrick Queen going out to the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be Craig Young. Billy Joe Dupree for the Dallas Cowboys going out to Doug. And along with that, another vet auto. That's going to be the patch auto of Jason Witten. Josh Jacobs gold auto going out to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's going to be Sean. We have the Van Jefferson for the LA Rams going out to Ron Riley. And A.J. Dillon again for the Green Bay Packers. We had the Noah Fant for the Denver Broncos and Josh Jacobs. So 2 Denver autos and 2 Raiders autos. And now we'll have to random this off at the end. We'll do that at the very end if that's all right with you guys. Who won that?
Alex Carey, winner of the Donruss Blaster. So, Alex, send us a message right now. Let us know, do you want it ripped or shipped?
And, Alex, what we can do is we don't have to do that on the podcast here. We can close up the podcast, and we can do that tonight before our baseball break. Again, if you're not a member of our Blazing Breakers page, we have the football page, which is our Blazing Breakers. We have the basketball page, which is Blazing Breaks NBA, and then Blazing Breaks Baseball. And we have a break tonight. If you can see it in the background here, I'll throw that up there. We have 2 Topps Chrome boxes and 2 Donruss boxes we're going to be ripping tonight yet, too. So, Alex, if you want us to rip that, we can do that right after we do that break tonight, if that's all right with you.
Good stuff, Mike. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody bearing with us. Normally, you know, our shows we keep to a 30-minute, but we wanted to try something new with the break. We're a little bit over an hour into it, and to me, it's kind of flown by. So appreciate it. You know, Mike, normally we like to add in our Grinds Our Beans segment of the show, but I'm feeling too positive. I think it's been, a great evening so far. So I just want to jump in if we can and talk about the final drip to close things out, if that works.
Yeah, we can do that. Go ahead. Just hit us with the final drip, Chris. I don't have that drop ready, so go ahead and hit us with it.
Nah, so here's the question that I wanted to throw out, and this is kind of the guilty pleasure question. What is the one guilty pleasure television show that you watch that you're now going to out yourself in front of whoever's listening on that you would not like to let anyone else know that you actually watch?
I'm going to let you start, man. I embarrass myself all the time, so you go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say, because I don't think I'm the only person that's in this situation. So oftentimes my wife will be doing whatever, cleaning the house, just hanging out, doing something, and she'll put on Lifetime Movie Network. And so I'll come down the stairs from my office or my man cave, and then I'll sit down on the couch for a minute, and I'll be watching 5 minutes of a show. And the next thing I know, an hour stopped by, and I'm trying to find out if the babysitter did it, or who stole the child out of the mother's stomach, or who killed the ex-wife. And I just get trapped into the Lifetime Movie Network. And it's a guilty pleasure. I've yet to go and turn it on and watch one by myself, so that hasn't quite happened yet, but it's definitely something I found myself watching that I'm a little embarrassed to say I've seen.
All right, so I haven't done it for a season or two, but I got to say, I don't just play fantasy football. I play fantasy Dancing with the Stars as well. Now, I love to dance. I've always have. I was a big club person, and it carried over. And my wife and I we played in a fantasy Dancing with the Stars league. Now there were prizes for me, which I'm pretty sure I won if I remember correctly. But so Dancing with the Stars is my guilty pleasure, and I would be lying if I said I didn't dance more than I probably should in life.
I thought mine was bad. At least mine has like killing in it and some suspense and drama.
He wins. Look at that.
Yeah, Matt, you take the cake with that. And see, Chris Anderson, for me, the ID shows, my wife and I have our DVRs just stacked with them. That's not like an embarrassing guilty pleasure. Those are some of the best television you can watch.
All right, Chris, I'm glad we did this. Chris deserves a huge shout out. He put a lot of this together. So thank you again, Chris, as always. And also to Chris Taylor for helping out, making sure we could go live for the break during it. I want to really take a recap. Chris, who got all the $5 credit so we know?
So if we look at it, the Father's Day packs and the first $5 credit went out to Mike Cornett. We have Kelly Boyer with the Fantasy Football Magazine, John Steebner with a $5 credit, Dennis Roberts with a $5 credit, Alex Carey with the Donruss Blaster Box, and we had the other $5 credit went to the mystery name on YouTube. I don't know if they changed their name back over. You know it as. It's Alan.
Oh, Alan. Yep, I have that here. Mike and Alan were the first two, so I'll have to get the other ones from you then. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll look to do this. We probably won't do it every week, but there will be special features like this, and we'll give away prizes every time we do this. So thank you guys for joining. If you could, please tell your friends, your car, and different groups that you're in. We're not looking to do breaks in this every time, but what we want to do is bring more people into the hobby and the investment side of this. So let them know about this podcast if they're interested in learning more about cards or just want to be a part of the community.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time around. Have a good evening.